don't live on a spinning rock water ball rocket. I mean, that's what you believe. You believe we live on the outside of a spinning rock, spiraling in 4 different directions at once at speeds that you can't even imagine. And then every year, the stars are in the exact same place on the exact same day, right? None of it makes sense. The thing that you got to look at is there's pre-programmed responses that people have. They say, where's the edge? How come no one's fallen off? Circumnavigation proves it. Boats over the curves prove the ball. Eclipses prove the ball. All of these things do not prove the ball. They actually prove flat Earth when you look at it. And the thing that people say is there's no proof of flat Earth and there's endless proof of the globe Earth. And the exact opposite is the true when you take the time to learn. The problem is believing lies are really easy. Sometimes I introduce myself on a show and I come up with this fake background. I went to medical school and I lost, hope in allopathic medicine, and people believe it. And then 2 minutes later, I tell them that was a lie, and you just believe me. So you can believe a lie. I tell you something, and then you can believe it, and your whole day is free. But if you want to know the truth on anything, it takes time and effort and critical thought.
Let me just throw this at you.
Let him talk.
What about I offered Eddie to fund a project with a research ship, and then we could just go to the end of it. Where's the wall? You're going to say Antarctic?
Yeah, so just look at the Earth this way. People say, why are all the other planets round and why is the Earth the only disk in space? The Earth is not a disk in space. The way I look at it is the Earth, the flat plane of the Earth, is the basement of the universe. It's the only way I can describe it. And we live in a pond. Imagine a giant circular lake in Kansas with islands in it, and in the center of the lake is the North Pole.
We live in a cage.
Well, no, hold on, not in a cage. Just hear me out. I'll make this short. So you have the center of the lake is the North Pole. You have islands. You can sail around clockwise, counterclockwise. That's east and west. If you sail away from the center at any point, that's south. And when you get to the shoreline, that's the end of the Earth that we know of. That's the shoreline of Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It is the shoreline of the world ocean lake, I'll call it. And there is lots of it is a cliff, not a wall where you can jump over and jump into space.
You're saying we're in a terrarium.
Well, so here's the thing. Some people say there's a dome. Some people say there isn't a dome. Some people say there's more lands, more worlds, more suns across the plane. The truth is we don't know. We're not allowed to go there.
Well, the ancients, the Bible says the Earth's round. But then if you go back, a lot of the ancients after that debate said it was flat. And then I guess it was Copernicus, Galileo. When did they start saying it was round? But
Jesuits.
They started. So the whole. So the saying that the Bible has. Look up a video called 200 proofs, 200 Bible verses that says the Earth is flat. There are 200 verses that talk about flat Earth. I believe there's one that says the circle of the Earth. Well, my dining room table is a circle and it's not a sphere. Okay. So it has it's a footstool, if you want to quote the Bible, the footstool of the Earth.
So why would the establishment try to keep something 1 trillion times bigger than the Manhattan Project secret?
Can we answer that a little bit later? Because you're jumping forward past, you're looking for a motive. Like if you saw somebody light 50 houses on fire and there's all the evidence in the world, but you couldn't figure out a motive, does that mean he didn't do it? So I'd be guessing at the motive, but I have a good guess, and I believe it's right on why they did it. But let's do that later. Let's get through some of the points.
Well, I don't want a world government to keep independent nations from ever figuring stuff out. They certainly suppress a lot of stuff. They got a project to kill everybody. So I mean that's a fact.
Right.
Let him talk.
So if you don't know who you are, if you believe that we live on the outside of a rock, that nothing exploded, created everything, and then a microbe turned into a fish that climbed out of the water, happened to find another fish that it can mate with to make a monkey, and then a monkey, farted, and there's our humans.
They don't want us to know who we are.
Right. They don't want you to know who we are, that there's no shortage of anything, that there's possibly, very likely, more land, more resources than they're telling us. There's hidden land.
It's a whole other giant dimension, and we're actually locked in here as an experiment.
I don't believe that at all. I believe that we live, for lack of a better word, we live in a realm, and it's flat and stationary, and every test that's ever been done to prove the Earth is spinning has proved that it's flat.
So what's gravity?
That it's not moving. Good.
What's gravity?
So gravity, a lot of flat earthers will say gravity is just buoyancy and density. And if there was such a thing as gravity, buoyancy and density are a thing. But gravity, the Earth plane is a negatively charged plane. This is a proven fact. The sky above us, whatever it is up there, is positively charged. So the negative charge of the Earth is establishing it down, and then buoyancy and density sort everything out.
Let me throw this at you then. Everybody's probably seen William Shatner voiced it. It's Trinity and Beyond. And I was already aware of this, but back in the 90s, I saw the footage of it from the U.S. government where they did over 1,000 detonations trying to blow up the atmosphere and ignite it.
Project Fishbowl.
Yeah, and that would have killed us. And trying to blow a hole through the Van Allen radiation belt to get through it because the probes couldn't get through. So, sounds crazy. You realize, what were they trying to blast through? I mean, why would you do that? Go ahead.
Well, so there's never in science can you have high pressure next to a vacuum. It can never happen unless there's a physical barrier. So they tell us space is the vacuum of space. I don't think
so what would the hydrogen bombs do that they launched up into the atmosphere and detonated?
I don't believe that they were hydrogen bombs. That's a whole nother thing. They were trying to blow through it, and they couldn't. I wasn't there, so I'd rather not really dig
there
in.
You go. Great statement.
Yeah. So
I know folks that were there.
How do you know?
On the Apollo.
Let's say they were, Alex. Let's say they were, and they threw 500 bombs up there. Okay, that works on a flat Earth. That works on a ball Earth. Who the heck knows what's going on? None of that proves anything. So,
I was giving that to your theory, like they were trying to blast their way through it. So here's the deal: are they working with whoever knows it is outside it in your theory? Because that sounds like they're trying to keep us from knowing it. And you're just like, ah.
It's the biggest deception in the world. Before flat Earth, I was a atheist. I believed in evolution. I wouldn't listen to anything that had anything to do with God.
Tell us about it when we come back.